Bam, we're live. Welcome. All right, we're gonna get this party started, as they say. Again, appreciate those of you that are tuning in and reaching out, doing all the things. And tell you, you're getting a masterclass level, right, on how to really make that. There we go. Have some light here. Make that remodeling business of yours and take it to the next level. So this one's a good one to add into the repertoire of business. So we're going to get right into it. We are now on day 49. For those of you that have been following along, I give yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you've been through every one, it's impressive. It's a lot of work, but that's what it takes. So it's interesting what I find is any discipline, when you commit to it, you can do it. And whereas most people will falter, and you should take pride in that when you go home and you can say, you know what, my business is going to not only survive, but it's going to thrive because you're willing to do what it takes that the other person's not doing. We are all tired at some point, right? We are all wanting to just take it easy, have a rest, go do something fun. And there are very few that will step up and do that extra thing. It's interesting. I set a lot of appointments in my business, right? If you're in any business, if you meet with clients, you have sales appointments, you do presentations, you do coaching, and the amount of people that just cancel because life got out of hand for them the other day or this or that, it's staggering. I am shocked at how many people, the way they live life is they're just responsive instead of directing it and saying, no, like yesterday was tough. Yesterday was challenging, but today's a new day and I'm going to push through. Right. As opposed to a lot of people, it's like, wow, this came up yesterday, that came up, and now my whole week's off. What I would offer to you as a suggestion is a different way of thinking up here, because that's what gets us into most trouble. It's our thoughts. And you will be shocked. You as a human can do way more. You're capable of so much more than you are doing. Even if you think you're already working hard, you could do more. You really could. And it's those that challenge themselves always come back and say, wow, I'll give you a personal example. For me, on Saturdays, I like to do 100 pull-ups. And the way I do that is I do them in sets of 10. And so I was getting that. And then I was like, I'll do 100 burpee pull-ups. Right. And then so I was doing that every Saturday. And then I got to a place where I was like, well, I'll wear a weight vest. And I started out with 10 pounds and I could do 100 burpee pull-ups with 10 pounds. And I was like, hey, I can do this pretty well now. So then I add 20 pounds. So then I could do 100 burpee pull-ups with 20 pounds. Now, I'm in my 50s. And to me, that just shows you where you can go. When I first started, that was just to do 100 pull-ups was challenging, right? To try to do it within a short period of time, a workout. Let's say I want to be at the gym in less than an hour, approximately. It's a lot of work to try to get in there. Now, some of you can bang, if you're younger or maybe you're fitter than I am, and congratulations if you are, that's awesome. So we all are at where we're at. But what I'm saying is by being consistent, you can progress. Now, fitness might not be your thing. That's fine. Maybe you just get steps in or whatever you want to do. But what I'm going with it is you just don't know what you're capable of until you challenge yourself. So if you're tired right now and you're like, I can't do any more marketing or advertising, you know what? Maybe you could put together another campaign. Maybe you could finish that business plan this week that you've been putting off, right? Let's get that business plan done. Let's get your marketing plan finished so that we can be implementing. Yeah, I know you thought it would take you 3 months, but you know what? You probably could do it in 3 weeks if you really sat down and buckled in. So, anyway, that's what I'm learning by doing this challenge every day. And tomorrow is day 50. So I'm excited for that. All right, let's get into it. Share my screen. And for those of you following along in the journey, again, appreciate all the likes and follows on TikTok. If you are not following our TikTok account at the Remodeling Academy, you need to get over there. There is a lot. That is the primary focus, other than well, yeah, it's really that is just the primary focus. I put all time, energy, and effort right now is going just into the TikTok account, other than here. So several videos a day are going out in there, and it's all content. It's I'm giving sales processes, talking about how to hire, why, mindsets for employees and whatever. It's in a TikTok video. You need to check it out. All right. So as you said, this is your part of the 30-day AI prompt challenge for remodelers. I've been going live every day, and today is day 49. So each day we touch on a different AI prompt that you can use for your business. All right. So I find this one challenging and interesting at the same time. To me, it's hard to believe that it's an issue for a lot of people. I've made a couple funny videos where I have a pair of binoculars and I'm up on the roof on a ladder looking and saying, are you still having trouble spotting tire kickers? And I bring this up because I literally am having a conversation with a business owner this morning, and she happens to be one of these people, been in business about 3 years and cannot filter and does not have a process to filter out and spot tire kickers. And part of the process or problem in their situation is their marketing message is messed up. And they are actually attracting tire kickers and don't even understand that. And they fall into a place of desperation, and it just becomes this never ending circle of disbelief, and yet they can't believe, and they don't understand that someone could just come in and fix it like that, because they can't see it for themselves. And they just live in this world of where, wow, it's been 3 years and your sales aren't growing, they're declining, and you're having like one of the worst months ever. Like, you're at burnout stage and you're going to go broke. And so today is all about learning how to spot a tire kicker. So years ago, there was a contractor that taught about having an intake form, right? So he said, and he called it a lead sheet, right? So, and I've been in sales, and we would have intake forms, lead sheets, call logs, and you get basic, they call it the pedigree information: name, phone number, address, type of project, when are you looking to have it done, ballpark pricing. Like, this was standard stuff 20 years ago. When someone called, see, you used to have to just call a business. That was the only way you could get somebody. You called them up, you grabbed the yellow pages, you grabbed the phone, you called them, and the person who answered the phone would just ask a couple general questions. Oh, Miss Smith. Yeah, thanks for calling. Hey, Miss Smith, how did you hear about us? Oh, you found us in the phone book. Your neighbor. We did project for your neighbor. Oh, who's that? Oh, yeah, Hillary. Yeah, they're great. The Jensens, they're awesome. Yeah, great. And the person's taking notes on everything that the lead is saying. And they're like, oh, this is great. Yeah. So tell us, what is it you're looking to have done? Oh, you want to have that remodel of your kitchen. Oh, and you're thinking about doing a bump out addition. Yeah. Oh, perfect. And you probably want to, you don't think you can afford it now, but maybe you're going to add a bathroom later. Awesome. Okay. And tell me, how long have you been thinking about this? Oh, man. Yeah, so they might say to you, well, we've been thinking about it for 12 years. And you're like, cha-ching, that's good. And the person on the phone might go, yeah, me and my husband, we waited like 10 years to remodel our bathroom. Oh, we were so happy when we were done. See, your intake person should be quietly accelerating and helping your sales process, reaffirming the things that the client's saying. There's all this is going on behind the scenes. If you're not doing this stuff now, this is why some of your competitors find it so easy to find good clients. All right. So again, your good intake person who's doing the weed the lead process is asking questions, languaging it in a special way, and finding out all kinds of pertinent data. Oh yeah, yeah. Like, tell me what do you hate about your kitchen now? Oh yeah, no space, right? Yeah, those cabinets were short. Yeah, that's right. They didn't go all the way to the ceiling back in the 70s. Yeah, I know, that's horrible, right? Your person's real good over the phone talking to them and getting the homeowner to feel more comfortable and more engaging. And they're like, oh, have you? So tell me, like, where are you in the process? And then the homeowner would be like, well, They might say anything. They might say, we've already talked to 3 people. They might say, you're the first person we called. They might say, we got a bid last year and we couldn't afford it. So we've been saving and now we're ready. Like, you don't know what the client's going to say. And the only way you find out these things is you have a expert, talented person that follows a weed the lead sheet and a system and asks these pertinent questions and gets all this data that's a gold mine for you to then facilitate your presentation and how you're going to move forward. Oh, so you guys have been thinking about doing that kitchen for a year. And you've been waiting, you've been saving. Oh, you had a relative pass away and you inherited a bunch of money. Man, that is so nice. Yeah, that's going to make it so easy for you. Okay. And like, what are the things you're wanting? Oh, you want new appliances? All right, new countertops. Oh, and you want to change the layout? Perfect. So tell me, why are why do you want the addition? What's going on? Oh, your in-laws. You're going to have your father-in-law come in, stay with you, or whatever. Like, they're going to tell you something, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. So they write down new family members moving in. Okay. Do you have any special needs with this new kitchen? Like, is there anything you'll have to accommodate? Are you guys cook? Do you like to cook? Are you chefs? Whatever. What is it that you want to do? Do you like to, when it's Thanksgiving, do you like to invite the grandkids over and, does everyone gather around and you teach them the old family recipes? Whatever. You're finding out all this information so that then you best understand how to proceed. If you're not doing that, you're missing out. So anyway, many people have been in business for 3 years and they get a phone call. Their ad works on Instagram or Facebook and they write the lead and they say, okay, when can we meet? And they think that they're being efficient because they drive out. And this is the lie that they tell themselves. Well, I'm just so much better in person. Right. And because what's happened is you've had some appointments in the past where you've been able to find out something or do something to where you've been able to maneuver the deal along. And you're like, because I was here in person, that's why I did better. So I'm really good in person. So I'm going to run all these leads. I'm never going to turn anyone down. Right. And that's the theory and the story that you tell yourself. And if you kept track and wrote these down on a piece of paper, what you would probably learn is that you're wrong as much as you might be right. And maybe half the time it was a complete waste of time. The budget wasn't right. The client isn't your type of client. The project might not even been right. And yet you ran out there to meet with them and wasted all this time and energy. And you have to say to yourself, had you not booked the appointment and if you had filtered them out within a 15-minute phone call, how much more could you be doing and more efficiently for your business? Because your time and energy would be spent in the appropriate places instead of chasing the tire kickers. So big, successful remodeling businesses, any successful salesperson in any discipline doesn't chase every lead. Just like your homeowner is calling around to see who they want to work with, you as a business owner have a conversation with them where you say, well, Mrs. Smith, we've been in business 10 years. I appreciate you reaching out. We get a lot of requests to do work. So, and just as you can appreciate, I'm sure you want to look for the best company to do your project. We also have an internal process where we're looking for the best clients to work for. And as you know, the reality of the situation is we're unable to work for every homeowner, but we do look for the ones who are a best fit. I'm not sure if our product or service is going to work for you. There's still a little bit of a process that we have to go through, and our process is proven, and this is how we get amazing results with our clients. So we've learned to stick to our process, and you can talk to one of the 1,000 clients that we've serviced over the last few years, and they'll tell you, man, that process that they do, yeah, it's different and it works. So go through it. Okay. You have to be selling your process from day one. And you have to, especially if you're a luxury brand, you have to sell exclusive, right? Exclusivity, that you are an aspiration brand. And I share this because I really learned this lesson really well when I worked for a couple companies where we had the higher priced product. And when what you're selling costs more, you learn to sell the value. Okay. And the people that run around and sell on price, I would almost say you're just not a salesperson to the real, like, you don't get it. You haven't elevated. I understand you think you're working hard. You are, but you're missing the game. You're playing checkers when you could be playing chess. Get away from price based selling. You provide a service, you remodel a home. That is what you do. You don't sell the widget that the person shopping online for the cheapest price that anyone can deliver, because the product that I deliver, not everyone can deliver it. Yes, ma'am, you can get a kitchen from them. It would be different than the kitchen that we would provide. Let me explain. The experience would be different. The end product would be different. Yeah, I know, but they don't put together the cabinets the way we do. Yeah, I hear you, but they don't do this the way yes, ma'am, I hear that. And in fact, we've fixed many of their kitchens because they don't implement this process the way that we do it, which is fine. Like, I understand you're going to have to pick the company that you want. But when you're comparing an apple to us, we're not the same as them. It's a different product. It's a different service that we provide. So you have to learn to qualify ruthlessly, because time is money and not everyone's your customer. So I would say you think about like the Titanic analogy. When a ship is sinking, you just can't save everyone, unfortunately. And when you're running a remodeling business, not everyone is your client. You can't, nor should you sell to everyone. People that run around and beat their chest, I have this great closing ratio. That's awesome. But it also tells me that you're probably not charging enough and that you're not weeding out the leads, right? There's issues somewhere in there. Okay. You want to close and be good, right? But there's a point where you should be doing a better job weeding, or you need to raise your prices. You shouldn't be selling to every single person. Okay. So why most remodelers waste time on bad leads? Literally, they just treat every inquiry that they're supposed to be the customer. They book site visits without doing any screening. Okay, this is available on my website. Like, I've been giving this out for years, and it always amazes me that the amount of people that just don't do it. Whatever. This works well. The companies and contractors that put this into place, it turns around everything within a matter of weeks, right? You will start seeing a huge result. And everyone in your company understands this process. Your project managers, your installers, you should be teaching them. If they work for your company, you should be teaching things. Hey, this is what we look for in a client, so that they know how to spot a good customer. All right. So you can't ignore the red flags until it's too late, because when it's too late, you're going out of business, right? So how many people, or even yourself, how many times have you heard this from another remodeler, or have you said it? Man, these homeowners are wasting my time. No one's serious anymore. Everybody just wants the cheapest contractor. No, they don't. The leads that you choose to pursue do, because you don't understand how to weed the lead. You don't understand how to properly market your company. And that's why you keep getting the cheap people. So your choice. You got to learn how to weed the lead. So let's enter an AI powered world of lead the weed system, right? After years of testing. So I literally have taken my formula, I've uploaded into AI, and I've helped teach AI, like, this is how you do this strategically, right? Because there's not a lot of people that teach that. So I'm teaching AI how to strategically do the weed the lead system for a remodeling company. And so I've uploaded data, and understand that this has been built on years of iterations, constantly meeting with homeowners, constantly selling remodeling services, fine tuning and implementing, iterating. So it's a proven screening process, and many successful contractors are using it. If you're not, you just have to ask yourself, I mean, do you really want success? I don't know, because you're not taking the proper action. If you're not, I mean, the funny thing about the truth is some people just don't like to hear it. Yeah. So look, you got to learn to identify the red flags very quickly, and you have to learn to ask a lot of questions. That's what it becomes. A good salesperson asks a ton of questions. You can save hours every week. You can focus on the serious and the ready to buy, and you can feed lead responses into the AI, and you can get a report back so you can start understanding. You should take your sales calls that you've done previously and write down. So I asked them this is what they said, right? If you take notes, write down everything that you remember about the call and throw it through the system. and see if you should have even gone on those appointments. You might be shocked what it tells you. See, the average person, does selling and life based on emotion. And emotions are just thoughts, feelings. They're fleeting. You get triggered. Something could happen 10 years ago. And right now, the fact that I'm wearing a green shirt might frustrate you because some kid beat you up when you were 5 years old and the kid wore a green shirt. And you're sitting there going, I can't stand that green shirt. And you don't even understand why you don't like the green shirt because you don't remember that it was because you got beat up when you were 5. Those are what emotions are. You can't trust your emotions, right? When an emotion comes up, you have to say to yourself, well, wait a minute. I'm uncomfortable right now. I'm frustrated that he's wearing a green shirt. Why would that be? Why would I be feeling that way? Because whatever, he's just wearing a green shirt. And then you're like, damn it. That's funny. I'm pissed. I'm frustrated right now because that kid beat me up or that person stole my parking spot and they were wearing a green sweater, whatever. Like that's how stupid your mind, when I say stupid, what I mean is that's how silly your mind is. And then it creates that emotion. And then you run off chasing it and thinking that it's true. When instead you have to question all of your thoughts and feelings. You got to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is that happening right now? This is strange. Why do I have that thought? I don't want to. Do I have to believe it? I don't know. Let me ask about it. Anyway, next level. All right. So you have to learn to figure out who deserves a site visit and who doesn't. So you look for some red flags, right? Is there budget hesitation? Are they telling you, hey, we're just getting ideas? Do you not know who all the decision makers are? You got to be careful in this one. There's a lot of kids right now whose parents are paying for crap and the parents don't live in state. And you're going to run out and try to make a sales call. And they're going to say, well, yeah, but like our father-in-law is paying for it. Well, where is he? Well, he's in Arizona right now. Yeah, but you're in North Carolina and I'm trying, like, how's this going to work? Well, yeah, he's going to come out and approve everything. He'll sign the paperwork when we're ready. Well, when are you going to be ready? We're not sure. He just asked us to get some prices. And you're just like, what? Why was I even here? Like, you could have saved yourself hours by not even getting involved in that till they were ready. Or you got on the phone, you call the person in Arizona and you say, hey, here's our process, sir. We want it to be as efficient as possible. So we want to do da, 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 da. When are you coming out? Okay. And that's how you make a sales appointment. All right, you got to understand their timelines. Is it something they've been dreaming of, or they just watch HGTV and they're a little remodel drunk right now and they're ready to get going, until they find out what it really costs and how long it really takes. And they can't afford half of what they saw on TV. I mean, that happens too. How many times have you chased that one? So they could be very unrealistic with expectations or your service that you could even provide or what even can be done. I mean, you have some people that just have no clue, and nor should they because they're not in the industry. But you could have figured that out over the phone had you had a process. So also, do they have a lot of prior contractor complaints? So sometimes the person complaining is the problem. It's not the contractor. Could be the person. You got to learn to figure that out. So anyhow, let's move on. We're almost wrapped up here. So why this changes the game? You stop driving all around town because you took a few minutes to ask some questions and you got a roadmap. This is your roadmap. This is letting you know whether you book the next appointment, how you book it, what you're going to be booking right here. So no more wasting time on the dreamers and the tire kickers. How many homeowners have you met with that just are dreaming and they use you to spitball? You may not know it in the moment. That's the problem. You think they're serious. You think, no, Miss Lisa, she's all ready to go until you find out, no, she's not. She just didn't know how to tell you that, but she's dreaming about it. One day, I'll remodel one day. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for wasting another 3 hours coming out here. Giving me, you're like, that's great. All right. So you, when you're ready, you start operating like a premium company. You qualify the lead, you protect your time, and then you win serious jobs. I mean, this is a serious business. Okay. There's a reason why everyone can't be successful in a sense, because they're not willing to do the things that it's required, right? There's a saying, and you've heard it before, I say it frequently. While anyone can be successful in remodel, not everyone will, because most people aren't willing to do the little things. How many of you just skip this whole process and you just go? Phone call, lead, I'm there. Not anymore. So, and remember, your bad ads are bringing in the bad leads. So some of you, it's even worse because you're hardly running any ads. The ads you do have are horrible. They're bringing in the wrong client time and time again. You're beating your head up against the wall, and you don't even understand that you're doing it to yourself because you're trying to do too much, right? You're investing in all these vacations, lavish lunches, lavish dinners, right? Another family experience. We're going to Disney. We're going here. When really you should say, guys, we have to stop being reckless. We are being reckless with our business. We need to invest in a proper marketing system. I need to get myself straightened out. I got to get my business needs to be like on a diet. That's it. We're getting a program, a plan. We're getting disciplined. We're getting coaching. We're getting direction, and we're going to get somewhere with the company this year. So got to get it dialed in so you can start dialing for dollars. You need the system a lot. Many people I talk to need the system more now than they've ever needed. And understand this. Most people I talk with right now, they got into the business when the economy was good because it was easy. Anybody with a hammer could have gotten into the remodeling business during COVID. I can't tell you how easy it was to land jobs the last couple years. And a lot of you, hear me, you're running around thinking that your business is like on third base and you're saying, we hit a triple. No, you were born and your business happened to be born on third base because you started it at an opportune time that you might not even have been aware of. And if you look at any historical data, this is what happens to business. There's good times to be in it. There's not so good, right? Now, what you have to learn is how do you optimize your business if the economy is doing one or the other, right? But sometimes you just get lucky. You just caught the wave at the right moment by sheer luck. And then here it is a few years later, and you can't fight your way out of that wet paper bag as you don't know which way is up or down. You can't figure it out, heads or tails, for the life of you, because you didn't have to struggle enough in the beginning to learn it properly, and you just got fortunate that you stepped into the business at the right time in the economy, and so you got leads and you had some sales and you made some money. But then you realize when now that the economy has settled that you don't know what you're doing. You don't have the business acumen. You don't have the experience, the knowledge, and that's okay. You have to say to yourself, man, I need help, right? I got to figure this out. I'll get somebody in my team right away. All right. So you qualify the lead and then you move on. You don't want to deal with tire kickers or time wasters. So your mini challenge is take some of your last several leads and come up with a questionnaire to ask AI how I am a remodeling contractor. I focus on luxury walls. I do accent walls. We like to do high-end glamorous work. We do show-off pieces, right? Help me understand how to properly filter and weed out leads. Anyone that contacts me and says they're interested because they've seen an ad or they've been referred to me, help me come up with a questionnaire that I can properly ascertain or assess if I should even go out and have the appointment with that person, right? So you can take my Weed the Lead sheet right off of our website. You go to the remodelingacademy.com and you look for Weed the Lead. And then all you got to do is put your name and your phone, your name and your email, and then you get this document right in your email box. It's like that. It's set up. It's automatic, right? I don't have to do a thing. You do it. You just put your name and your email address at the lead form, and this document, along with a video or two, shows up and tells you how to do it. So you take this form, and then you can slightly alter it if you like for your specific niche, right? If you're a kitchen designer or you only do basements or you do outdoor living spaces, right? You do patios, pergolas. So there might be a question or two you want to vary, some sort of variation. That's fine. And you come up with your process and you put it on paper, you print it out. And anytime you take a phone call, you don't get off the phone or set an appointment until you've gone through the questions. All right. So that's your key takeaway. Help AI. AI is going to help you decide whether you should be going forward. And you can put in results from previous appointments and then get an analysis to whether you should have gone out. And you can, so if you have leads, let's say you've gone out on appointments and you've pitched before you should have because you didn't know better, but you put out the proposal and they're not calling you back. You could run the whole scenario into AI and say, here's the situation. I run this ad, because you should be tracking your ads. If a client calls you and they say, I saw your ad, well, what ad did you see? What made you call us? What, what was in the photo, or what did we say? You want to track all of that. And then you write that down, right? And then you find out like what they're looking for and their price ranges, their experience with remodeling. You find out their age, you put their demographics, what do they do for work? You should ascertain all these types of things. And then you pop that into the AI machine and you ask it, why is this person ghosting me? What happened? This is what we talked about on the sales appointment. What is it that I misunderstood? What is it that I don't know how to do in a sales proper presentation setting? Did I not build enough rapport? Did I miss things? Do I not understand their personality style? Right? Any of that. All right. So if you have any questions at any time, again, reach out. For heaven's sake, just go to the website, get the Weed the Lead form, start using, put it in place in your business. All right. That's everything. That's your challenge. You're going to make sure you have your Weed the Lead system in place. You use ours. Okay. And then if you want to, I would just say you just get this and work with this right now. And if you have a question, you can always reach out to us and I'll analyze the business you're in specifically, your niche, and then we can see if there's anything you should change. But I don't think there will be. This pretty much covers anyone in the remodeling space. All right. Have a good one. And tomorrow is day 50. That's right. 50.